Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome back to yet another AFK journey video. So in today's video, we'll cover what is and should be the strongest team for Crazed Shellbrute right now, theoretically, because with regards to the boss itself, so this testing is done by Puzzle and the analytical guys. Relentless testing, a lot of min-maxing as well as just positioning testing out. So I personally tried a few combinations as well, which I'll talk about later. But with regards to this team idea, I think this is probably the strongest team because the uptime on Fresto is maximized while getting the best buffs across the board for all the different units that are crucial for dealing damage against the boss itself. So theoretically, there shouldn't be a better team. However, depending on whether or not Vala's damage output after the boss falls below 50% is a thing, right? If Vala hits really hard, there is a possibility that maybe the Light Bearer team could be the strongest team after 50%. We do not know. We will have to wait until the actual testing is done once Crazed Shellbrute falls below 50%. But with regards to the model team right here, so I will talk about what is the previous most optimal setup first, and then talk about the current strongest team, which is theoretically the strongest by right. I don't think there's any stronger units or combination based on, I'll say, like the current pool of units. So the previous one is as such, we have Mikola together with Seth or Kruger, depending on who you have. So the positioning is as such because Seth is basically a unit that is to be gulped by the boss, right? So he jumps in, hit the boss once, and then the boss will just hit him up, will just eat him up, and then he'll be out of the battle. And then Mikola's job is to go up, activate the coverage sphere, buff up Fresto on the front line to do maximum damage, and then take turns to be gulped up by the boss together with Seth. So Seth will be eaten, followed by Mikola. Seth's come out, will be eaten again, and then Mikola once again, and then Lime will be at the back line doing damage, while Smokey is at the back line providing the damage as well as the buff for the team. So we will actually use this as a benchmark and then showcasing the best team later. So my team levels are as such: Fresto at 841, Lilime at 841, and Smokey at 841 now. Later on, I'll do some level tuning without adjusting the core levels. So this is, I'll say, like the previous best team. Okay, so let's start the battle first to showcase the damage number, and then we benchmark it to the next team, which is the best team by theory, should be the best team. Because for Vala's case, Vala has the potential to always do a lot of damage to the boss after 50%. However, Vala's ability is a little bit all over the place. He jumps all over the place, and I think one of the key issues with dealing with this boss is you need to sort of control the gulp ability of the boss. So if there's a way to actually position Vala such that Vala don't get gulped by the boss and she does hit really hard, way harder than Fresto, there is a possibility that the Light Bearer Tau could be like the strongest post 50%, like I mentioned earlier. But I highly doubt so, because Fresto is probably the second if, let's say, Vala is the best damage dealer, and Fresto hits so hard with two bodies that you kind of don't want to give up his damage output just for Vala alone to do more damage, because you have to consider the fact that the Mauler side has some of the best buffers in the form of Mikola, in the form of Smokey, and also this next best team, or the best team setup with Shakir. Okay, so this is the distribution from the previous best team. So you can see that Seth didn't do too much, just go in, hit one time, and then he get gobbled up, and then Mikola gets the buff on, and then Mikola gets gobbled up, and then Seth comes out gobbled up, and then the two of them takes turn to be gobbled up by the boss, while allowing Lilime as well as Fresto to output their damage consistently. So this is for the Mauler class. So I'm only at level 30. I think to maximize your damage, you need about 32. You need to get to the last tower where it gives you that damage for the boss. So that is for the maxing part, but this is the damage distribution. So now let's take a look at the best team in terms of positioning. So considering the fact that you want to maintain the uptime on Fresto while minimizing the impact of the other units, the best buffer duo or buffer trio, Smokey, Mikola, and Shakir, is going to be what is in the best team. So we are gonna put in Shakir. So Shakir's positioning is as such. And then we're going to level Shakir, because Shakir's also going to stay on the battlefield for quite a bit. And, right, Mikola will be positioned here, and then Kruger will be positioned here. Okay? So for this positioning right here, what will happen is Mikola will run to the leftmost tile or rightmost tile, right, depending on how you see it. So leftmost side of the boss, rightmost side from our angle. So she'll run here and Kruger will be gobbled up. Okay, and Mikola will obviously do the same thing, right? Get the ultimate up, buff up all the units, and then she gets gobbled up together with Kruger. So Seth, even though when he transforms, he's actually unaffected. But the thing is, because we have both Kruger as well as Mikola taking turns to be gobbled up by the boss will not target Shakir, and he's able to stay on the battlefield to buff up both Frestos, right? To give them the additional haste for them to hit a lot harder, and with the best buffing trio in the game together to keep the maximum damage uptime on Fresto. Yeah, that's why I say theoretically this should be the best team, because it's hard to find a team where you can actually get like the best buffs as this 3 different units has to offer, while right keeping your damage in pace with Fresto's damage output. So this should be the best team, and probably the team that you should use even after 50%. But if there's any massive update from the different testing from different players, or even like my very own experimentation, then we shall see whether or not we will do a video for that. Okay, so we're gonna showcase this team and take a look at the damage distribution. Okay, so Seth Kruger goes in. So I think based on the multiple testing itself, I haven't really been like sitting down to actually analyze the gobble position of the boss, but it seems like the gobble goes from the extreme left and right first. So left, right, left, right, left, right, and then when the unit comes out, if the unit is not too far away from the boss, the unit will be gobbled back again. And at different timings based on how the boss gobble up your unit, being able to manipulate the gobble sequence to maintain your maximum DPS uptime is probably the way to go for your account. So this team is obviously not for everyone, because not everyone has like Shakir built up, not everyone has Fresto built up, not everyone has Kruger. But okay, Kruger's job is just there to be a gobble target, right? Gulp target. So you don't actually need him at a super duper high tier. You just need him to be the unit to stand in front to be gobbled up. So you can play with Kruger at a lower tier. So Kruger is to be gobbled. Mikola, you only really need her buff, and she's also a gobble target. So she doesn't need that much stats as well. For Kruger's case, right, having EX15 allows Kruger to transform faster to give you more haste. So Kruger having the EX weapon at least I'll say EX10, right, giving that attack bonus as well as the earlier transformation should be quite crucial. So in terms of this team build right here, Smokey, I think, yeah, the more stats you have, the better, more damage there. Fresto, same thing, more stats, the better. But right, for Shakir, for Kruger and Mikola, I think you just need sufficient for them to do what they want to do, right? Being the gobble target as well as being the buffer for the team. So maximum uptime to your best of ability based on your resources. So this is currently the best team. Okay, so now I've seen a lot of comments talking about hey guys, I don't have Fresto, so my Fresto's not that built up, or like I only have 1 copy, can I use Fresto? So you can actually use Fresto if you only have Fresto at the 1 copy, but obviously being at 1 copy means that this unit is not gonna output that much damage compared to like a Supreme Plus or even an EX15 Fresto, right? So in this case, you want to choose other builds which are catered towards other units where you have them more developed to maximize your damage. So that's for the Primal Lord idea. All these best teams, best positioning meta teams, they are for players with the units to actually build up the teams to showcase maximum damage. So right here, same thing, we're gonna see how much of a variance this team has to offer. So let's go. Okay, so if you're able to get like the very last damage node from the Mauler EX weapon, I think we should be able to hit the 50-51 build range. So that additional DPS actually gives us, I'll say, like more. Okay, another way to give us more damage is obviously also to go for the energy on hit tower as well, so that our units actually gets their ultimate off a little bit faster. So basically, the higher level you are on your Mauler tower, the more damage you will do here. So that's for the idea. So you can see that throughout this whole duration, Smokey together with the Frestos, they are buffed by the Lupin aura. So this Mikola, Shakir aura buffing stacking ability is just insanely good. like in the game. So I believe that this end game stage Shakir has a spot, and Shakir has always been one of my favorite units in the game because I feel that Shakir is a very balanced unit. He becomes good if he gets to do what he wants to do, but the thing is, like, he also has like really easy counters or easy solutions to deal with him. So right here we break our own record, right? 50.6 build over here. So that is with regards to the best team setup theoretically. So if there's any future updates with regards to this team, then we will talk about it, and I'll probably cover some team variances for those of you guys who don't have certain units built up in the next few days, because there's quite a few like testing from the guides itself we can cover. So we will talk about like what are the other team variances for you guys in case you don't have the best teams, you don't have the best units, you don't have the strongest combination out there. So thank you very much for tuning in. Do remember to like and subscribe to see more. See you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.